Luke, thanks so much for taking the time to come on the podcast, mate.
Keen as. Thanks for having me, John.
How have you been?
Good. Hectic. Life, busy.
Yeah.
I feel like most people, you ask people, a lot of people, not most, but a lot of people, you say, how you doing? In the world we live in now, and they're like, hectic, busy, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than like people just going, yeah, good, and they're not. So,
one of our big things we ask them is, how are you? We talk to me, it's like, and someone get, the throwaway line, good.
Yeah.
Well, how are you really?
Yeah.
And it can, like it's a jolt of,
Ask again.
how am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a lot of talking about Talk to Me, bro. I want to go back a little bit. How did, I want to know how it all come about, and did it come about, any of it from your time in the army?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was, if you go back, a young kid at, sports school, Newcastle, born and raised around here, and then sort of got to the year 11 and went back to, the senior school. Mm-hmm. And I remember this teacher in class just going, Luke, if you don't want to be here anymore, you don't have to be. And I was like, I might take her up on that. And I just didn't, it's got to that point, school wasn't for me. And then, so I was like, what do I do? And I was looking for a trade, and one of my mates that I went to school with too, he had my P's, and he goes, can you just drive me to the army base? I want to sign up. So yeah. So we drove in there, and then they're asking me, what do you want to do? And I was like, not be in the army. Like, I just got out of school. Like, I'm not joining like that discipline type space. And then they, one question after another, well, what do you want to do? I was like, no, be a carpenter or something. And they said, we got carpentry in the army. And then I was like, okay. And then you follow the bouncing ball, and 3 months later, I'm in the army. My mate's not in the army. And I was like walking through at Adamstown. Went through as a reserves initially, and then walked in the door there, and I said, hey, I'm here to be a carpenter. And they're like, we don't have that. They're like,
really?
Yeah. Well, in that unit at the time. I was like, and they're like, but we have combat engineers. And I'm like, what's that? And we're like, we blow stuff up and we shoot guns. And I was like, that sounds sick. So I become a combat engineer. Yeah. And then I also got an apprenticeship at the same time, just like privately or, through it, not through the army, just like a job in the. So I did both for about 3 years. Mm-hmm. Did a lot of like all my training early on, and then also apprenticeship here at the same time. So I went away for large blocks of time a lot, and then I got a deployment. So I went overseas, took a full-time contract there, and went overseas on operations. We're in Solomon Islands. Yeah. And then
how long were you over there for?
4 months. Yeah, from memory. And then 3 months of pre-deployment training beforehand, and then that does sort of lead into the Talk to Me, Bro space. Is where I met one of the other corporals in our platoon there. Matt was just someone I looked up to as a soldier, become a friend, a mate, and amazing soldier. Was mentally tough, very mentally tough. Like, really stood out to me how his mental toughness was, and then how he built that into his body and his leadership and his discipline of his craft as a soldier. And I come back home from that, got my trade, and then sort of did subcontracting, dancing around with like long periods away with the military, and sort of a heart grew there for joining the SAS. I wanted to be Special Forces is where I wanted to end up. And Matt had been around, I think he'd done a commando selection, and he was, mentally in that world like a bit. And so I reached out to him, because in the reserves, you don't really know anyone that's done selection before. And it's, so it's a bit of this like, selection they're going on. It's like this big thing in the reserve world. But if you like a lot of the full-time units, people that have gone over there, but it's actually it's like, where's the contacts as a reservist to go through there and get there? So he supported me massively with me getting ready fitness-wise. He made packs down on the he was on the Central Coast, so he made all my military packs and my webbing. And
oh wow!
We used to sit in his garage for hours and just talk about mental fortitude, mental resolve, mental toughness, and then he'd go out there and grill me for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours and set up navigational obstacle points. I'd go through the bush, and finally he'd take me down at the beach and just hammering me on a beach session together and stuff. And it was like, yeah, and we really formed. He was just a mentor. He was a mentor to me, more, like probably even more so than a friend. He was a mentor that just wanted to see me succeed. And so then 2016 went on selection. So I was 21 at the time.
Yeah.
Got to the back end of that. And then I had this moment of, I'm not in the top 20 here. There's a lot of dudes, like multiple deployments of Afghanistan, war veterans. And I just had this like, I'm not on the same level as these dudes. And there's about 48 of us left at that point. And so I just like, you can only get yourself out of selection 3 ways. They ask you to leave. There's like 2 requirements, like day 1 and day 2, it goes for like 21 days. And then the 3rd way is they put a note in your top pocket on your heart and you got to take it out and sign yourself off. And
really?
Yeah. And that's the ways you get off selection course. Yeah.
So is the selection course kind of like a big test and it's just trying to see who's going to get through? And how many do they take?
Rule of thumb, that'd take 10, 15, 20, a little bit depending on numbers. But if you finish the 21 days, it doesn't mean you've been selected. Like,
yeah, right.
So it's 21 days. It's like the meals start to get less and less and less as the days go on. They're long. They wake you up at minimum sleep. Like they just wake you up. I remember first night it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's just game on for you.
Really?
Yeah, you're doing like I remember like 1 o'clock in the morning.
So it's almost like Hell Week, but for 21 days.
It's like Hell Week for 21 days. Yeah, it's full on. Like I remember like they got you do a webbing run and then a pack march in the first 2 days. And if you pass those requirements, which isn't like you lose people in the first bit, but then from there it's like they're just like game on that. I remember that evening, it's just they come out and they go, you've done something wrong, onto the parade ground. And we're doing like a 3-4 hour like PT session just with bars, like lifting bars above your head.
Really?
Full getting grilled, and it's like, right, off to bed, go to bed. And then we're like, so we're out on the earth under hoochies and stuff. And then at like 1 o'clock in the morning, they got like the sirens going and they got the attack dogs going, and it's just like, it's full throat. You wake up and you're like already, and then your pack probably weighs 60 kilos. They load up with all your water, all your food, give you a 15 kilo weight just to put in there basically. And
so you'd been preparing for this knowing kind of it was going to be this level? Or?
You knew what you're in to a certain extent until you get there, then you go, And I remember like this night, it was like load on the back of the Mogs out. They just drop us into like 2 o'clock in the morning on this road. There's like all these stores, like tank tracks, jerry cans, barbed wire, Constantine, like all this stuff. And it's like, right, what you got to do now is walk all this 200 meters down the road. So you got your webbing, your pack on too, and then you're carrying. This went from like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you hit that checkpoint. It's like 200 more meters down the road, and you just ferry it. And then every hour they like, you did something wrong. Gear off. They give you like a 5-minute break, but to gear off, 60 push-ups. And then it's like, that's your like buy in to get a 5-minute break of food. And then it's like back on. Like it's like, and they're doing these things where they take all these dudes down the road. We went until about like 4 o'clock the next day in the afternoon, and dudes are just losing it. Like, because you go down the road.
Are they blowing up?
Oh, they're just like, what the fuck are we doing? Can we swear on this?
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what the fuck are we doing this for? Like, and it's just like, because there's no mission. Like it's, they're just like,
there's no end.
There's no end. When's this stop? When's this? Like the guys are, I reckon we lost half the dudes just in that on day 3. Like it's just, you come back and you start with 150, you got like 80 left, and it's like you walk back into the mess, you're like, we just cut.
What happens if everyone just fucking doesn't make it?
There'd be some that would just
So how many days in did you get?
First one, I think it was about 15.
Yeah.
And then the second one around the same time, 14. So I went back in 2018.
So on the first one, but you said that you weren't in the top 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
Were you just going, I'm done then?
Something just like ticked in my brain, like you're not at the same level. And I just signed myself off like pretty quickly. It just like, because you're sort of in a daze too. Like I signed myself off, and I got home, and this was probably my entry into my own journey in mental health and trauma and what I've been through and just life, which I think everyone has a story. And I think everyone has a story. And I got home, I was fine for a few days, and then my mate called me, another guy that I train with, and he's like, bro, like, are you okay? Because a lot of the time you don't see each other leave the course if you're not together. Have you broken yourself? Like, where are you? So he's ringing me, I was like, yeah, I'm all right, bro. I made the call to leave. And then I said, how did you go? And he's like, oh, bro, I finished and they selected me. I was like, that's so good, man. Then what's my next question? Like, I was pumped for him. I was like, what's my next question? I said, how many? And he's like, oh, 42, 40, 45. Like, most people finish from that point and they selected 42. And
So you would have got through.
I reckon, but you don't know like how you're sitting in it. But I just thought like there wasn't that many left, and I just thought it was a massive changeover from they'd lost a lot of people from Afghanistan, like a 15-year war, and then so a lot of guys were getting out, and then a lot of guys were coming in. There was a big transition in the unit at the time. They needed numbers, so they just put what happened to me though in that moment personally was like my world just come crashing down. It was like my identity was caught up in me being SAS and not Luke's just enough for Luke. It was always about what do I achieve? I'm enough through. I was a corporal, like that stage. I'd move through quickly through my promotional stuff. It's like always, even in this world, like I have a lot of mates from just like I grew up playing sport in school and different environments. You find there was a badge of honour being the soldier and the guy that was going for special forces. And even in my unit, it was a little bit like, oh, he's the one that's going to go on selection. He's going. So there was a bit of probably ego in it. But also, like, underneath all of the ego was actually just me wanting to prove to myself that I was enough and that I was loved. Like, and that was the depth of then going through, because I just exploded. Like, once he told me that, we had that phone call together. I remember just hanging up the phone and just like, it's like my life had been everything that I'd gone through, my parents separating, different things at school and just life. It's just like, and you just sort of suppress and put it down.
This was a breaking point.
It was just a breaking point. The volcano just erupted. And my girlfriend at the time, which is now thankfully my wife, copped it big time from me. She probably copped it the worst. Even my best mate only said to me like not too long ago, he's like, that time that when you come first off selection, he goes, you're really hard to be around. So like he must have copped it. There must have been, I can't fully remember.
How long did that period last?
Couple months, but I like thankfully had another mentor, and I said to him like, I'm like really struggling. I need do you have any advice? And he said, there's his psychologist that he started going to see, and then I said, I'll try anything. So I started going to a psychologist, where really in my world up to that point with military, you don't tell the psych anything. You don't talk about your feelings. You don't, like I was just like, my head, I'm a war fighter and that's where I'm going to end up, and you don't let the psychs or anything know about what's going on. So it wasn't even something that I'd really thought about ever. Like I never really thought I had mental health problems, because I was very like, I aspired to a high level, like my discipline was high, my mentality was strong, but in terms of like probably mental health and really, or I guess more trauma and healing and what's actually happening underneath the surface, it wasn't even in my vortex until that moment. So it was
What was the extent of it? Like were you suicidal or?
No, just angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like angry and just.
Fully depressed?
I wouldn't even say depressed.
Not
like
depressed.
Angry,
yeah.
Like ferocious. Like it was like a volcano of like, yeah, like dark emotions coming up. I was verbally aggressive. I was just like hated the world a bit, but not. Now I wouldn't probably say it was depression. It was more like fire.
Anger.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah.
It was just like everything.
How'd you work through it?
Psychologist was huge.
Yeah.
We had about 6 sessions together, and she said to me, "Who's this girl you speak about?" And I talked about her. She says. We must have had rapport, because then she goes, I'm not doing another session with her. She said, do you think you could marry this girl? I was like, well, that's a big question. When I think, I was like 21, 22, and then thinking I'm still going to go west. Like, and I was like, oh, I guess so. I probably would have said something like, oh, I guess so. She changes all these things. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I'm not the problem still. Like, do they? And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, well, I'm not doing another session without her here. And I was like,
really?
Yeah. And I was like, but she must have had good rapport with me, so she sort of leveraged me into like, and I was like, so I would have probably gone back to Jen's and said something like, oh, the psychologist says you need this too, so you need to come as well. And my wife and girlfriend, but my wife now in all her wisdom would have very gracefully and softly, oh, okay, that sounds great. But I think she's much more wise than me. And we came along and we learnt a lot about each other. That sitting there with a third party and her, about her upbringing and just how she thinks and how I think, and what triggers me and what triggers her. Do you know what I mean? Like those, just understanding each other. You learn about yourself while you're watching someone else. Do you know what I mean? The mirror effect. And so yeah, I started seeing that. I really went down this line of, professional psychologists, coaches, and mentors, probably early on, were really pivotal for me.
Yeah.
And then I got another deployment in 16, 17, where I met Jack, who I run Talk to Me Bro with now.
Yeah.
And he was when you think, then that opened up that space of people that you could lean on.
Mm-hmm.
He was a young digger, chirpy as, life of the party. I was like a corporal this time. I felt like I was taking on a fair bit of pressure on that deployment in terms of looking after the soldiers underneath me, looking after people above me, just being a support network. So sort of, I was probably playing that Talk to Me Go card without realising it too. Like, people go through breakups back home, the weight of just being away is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was supporting heaps of people, but I was like, my back was starting to seize up while we were overseas, and it was like a direct response from stress. And Jack was my outlet where I could go sit with him. He was in another platoon, and we'd just laugh together and hang out. And
how good's that?
it was like, it was just this moment of probably what Talk to Me really stands for now, that person that I could just lean on when I didn't matter about the situation. It was just, you're my confidant, my person I could sit with. And then we end up, So
I was just going to say, so is this after the second time you went for it, or
so
this
that
was before?
Before. So I went in 2016, deployed in 2017, then 2018 I went again.
Okay. When you went the second time and you pulled out on around the same time, day 14, day 15, did you have the same response, or had you worked through it the first time and the second time was a lot easier?
The second time was like this. I put it down to like God, intuition, universe, whatever, but it was a different feeling of knowing like this isn't where you're meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked through, like, mentally I was better, physically I was better. I knew what to expect. I was like, they made it even harder. I think there was about 30 people left at that point. And I was cruising, like I was doing really well. And then I just had this moment. I was like, they call it Happy Wanderer, this period. So they do like 6 days on your own where you're just going through the bush doing like 20, 25K days, 30K days, and you're just like hitting checkpoints. A lot of thinking time, but a lot of just on your own too, in nature, just walking. Mm-hmm. And I just had this feeling after a few days, was crushing it. It was just this overwhelming, like, you need to go home. And I was like, I'm not playing this game. Like, I've been here before. Yeah. And it was like, I just started having this conversation out loud almost to myself. I do believe in, I don't know exactly what, like, God, I grew up in the church, but
do you pray?
Like a bit, yeah, I do pray.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you what religion I believe in, but I just believe there's something greater than all of us.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's a white guy up there with a beard, or do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter what colour skin. I just think it's bigger than, it's too big. You look up at the stars and you just think this thing's like, we're on the one little planet spinning 15,000 kilometres an hour.
When you pray, do you feel heard?
Yeah, sometimes. And then other times I think, sometimes I go and sit in the bush now, like sometimes for my mental space is the bush, nature's my go-to. Sometimes I'll curse the gods too, and I just think, I'm out here helping fucking so many people, and I'm like feeling like this is the weight of the world on my shoulders, like, give me something. But then funny how it doesn't always happen straight away, but the next day I feel lighter, or the next, do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's not instantly, but then things, when I do reflect on my life too, I'm like, I have so much abundance around me too. Sometimes I can look at it from a glass half full, or why me, or poor me mode, and then other times I feel, and I do sometimes feel like prayer gets heard. Like, I do feel like it gets heard. I feel like it comes a bit more when we're ready for it, and in
ways you don't realise.
Yeah.
I notice when I look back at things, like I might have been praying for something and it doesn't happen, but then like 6 months later I'll look back and I'm like, fuck, if that happened, I would have been in a completely different spot. I'm so much more grateful now for how it's all kind of panned out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like my prayer was answered, but given in like a really different way. Like,
yeah, in a different way, hey. Sometimes, like, I've just thought, even with this, talking about my journey and story, it's like, all I thought in 2018, I just want to kick doors in and shoot bad people in the face. Like, that's how I wanted to help the world. My 3 whys were like, I want to serve Australia at the highest level. I want to help people that can't help themselves, and I want to use it as a platform down the track to speak, coach, and mentor. What are we doing now?
Yeah.
We're serving Australia, I believe, at some of the highest levels. Like, we're just out there helping the public. Where, I wanted to help people that couldn't help themselves. We're literally doing that. Like, at times we're there when all other lights have gone out. We're a beacon of hope, and we're speaking and coaching and helping. And it's like I couldn't have predicted. Like if God had given me all the things that I was asking for, I wouldn't have been. I probably would have been. I would have been the one probably needing something like "Talk to Me, Bro," because my headspace would have been so poor going over. So yeah, like you said, you don't. I think sometimes I've gotten a bit less in my. I think when I was younger, I was heaps into this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to achieve. It needs to look like this, like very clear, focused, goal driven. I'm a bit looser now with my goals and I'll say a prayer like, use me today. Just use me to make impact. Use Talk to Me, Bro, to make impact for peace, for love, for hope, for humanity. Like they're my prayers a bit more, whatever that looks like. So I'm a lot more like, probably release things to the universe a lot more. Mm-hmm. And I heard a quote the other day. I read a quote on social media and it stuck to me. You see so much on social media.
Yeah.
It was something along the lines of like, you know how like faith is just, there's almost like that manifesting, but faith is just let it go and let the universe deal with it.
Yeah.
It was almost like saying by asking for something and then not letting the universe deal with it, you're actually like shitting on the universe when you're trying to force its hand. It's like, it's like the universe is speaking to the person saying, let me do my thing. You've asked, like, I've got it. You've put it up there. I've got it now. And when you think about how big this whole thing, existence that we live in and the universe, you think, it's so much bigger than.
Yeah.
Like, I was even thinking the other day about just us we got twins coming, we got the young kids. I just
congratulations.
Thanks, bro. And I just thought, like, even that, and it's like life in itself.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
Like, really?
It's wild.
When you actually think of it, yeah, I get the concept of baby and this and, you know, sperm hits egg and that sort of stuff, but like a little soul is coming into that. Like the whole thing to me just started really, I was just like, okay, release control of, at times, release control of my expectations for the world because you really don't control anything sometimes.
I had that same conversation with my partner on Sunday and I don't know why, but like the last script I wrote for like my next movie was all around pregnancy and I was asked to do like a documentary on like this midwife that goes over to Africa and delivers babies and I'm just so fascinated by like we're all born and it just feels like, I don't know, it feels normal, but I'm like, it's fucking wild. Why aren't we all talking about it?
It's wild.
Have you seen the starting of have you seen Marty Supreme?
No.
This animation, it's so cool. Like just even watch this little animation bit. Yeah. But like it's a sex scene and then it's like the sperm swimming up and it's all the text is on the screen. It's kind of opening up the movie and then you watch it like hit the egg and then the spark and the life create and it's just like, wow. Like that's like the big bang for us.
Yeah.
It's
what it is. Like it's like that. Even the Big Bang's like, but it's like that's the same miracle that's happening as a human gets created.
Yeah.
Or as life. Like even animals and stuff, like the whole it is. It's just like, but you got this little soul that's now in this. Like to me, I just think like it's. Sometimes when you think about it so hard, it can blow your brain out. You follow the thought for a bit and then you think, oh, like this is what I do. I follow it and I think, oh, that's too much. Yeah.
It's so fun to play on it, but I want to go back a little bit. You were talking about letting go and just letting the universe do its thing. I had a very similar conversation last week with a guest that was on the podcast. And how do you find you let go? Because I feel like there's that fine line between letting go and still being vested in, I want that outcome, to letting go and I don't give a fuck anymore.
I guess it depends I think sometimes you can feel it. Like that one for me, let's go on that large scale. The SAS that's all I want to do for probably like, since that deployment in 2012, so 6 years, I just trained my mind, body and everything to get ready there. That's all I wanted to do. And there was this moment walking, it was just like, honestly, it's almost like I've heard the voice, like a voice. It wasn't a voice, but it's like it was so in me. It's like, you need to go home. This is part of the journey. It's not the destination. That was a wording that came to me clear as anything. Yeah. And I slept on it that night, and then I woke up in the morning, and I was like, done. Like I just knew in my soul, done. Walked for like 2 hours in the day, and just put my pack down. I sat on my pack, and you don't sit on your pack in the army. And just watch the sun come up, and I just remember saying to myself, like, are you proud of this? How far you've come? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, are you willing to face the consequences of what this means? Because once you pull off twice, you're not really invited back.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I am. And come home and then the world, later that year I went down, I started doing like Tony Robbins events, and I went to like a Kerwin Ray event. He became one of a mentor for me massively. He passed away recently, which was,
That's last year, was it?
This was in 2018, sorry.
To 2018?
Yeah, this was 2018, which I went on that.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean about Kerwin? Or no, he passed away just
last year or the year before?
2024 in October.
Yeah.
And we've been in his business coaching for years. Like it's just and knew him pretty well, and he just left a massive hole in the world. Kerwin, when I think about it, it just like still gets me. Yeah, what he was going through and what he's mentally and stuff like that. So. Going to your question is like, when do you let something go? Like for me, it's like that. I come back and I was just like, started a building company, and then later that year, so Jack lost his cousin, Big Matt, to suicide in January 27th. And Christy, the wife of Matt, actually started the organisation. It was just these shirts, hashtag talk to me, bro. And it started as a shirt, and it's just grown. And that year though we didn't do a great deal talking to bro, so there was a bit of mentoring and stuff like that. But Jack went through a really challenging time. I went away. I was doing the SAS stuff. Like I wasn't involved in the organisation at that point early on, and then just there as a friend of Jack. And then later that year in November, I was actually at a Kerwin event on the second night, and walking on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and I got a phone call that my mate Matt had taken his life, and that to me was my end of this organisation. And talking to Jack more over time, it was like he really struggled. He uses language which I wouldn't have even known at the time. He goes, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here over that year. And that was me just checking in with him and how you going. I didn't realise how dark he'd gotten at certain times. And then even when Matt passed away, to hear Jack's language a few times of like, I wouldn't have been here without you, bro. Like someone that he's my brother, like that in the heart. And then when Matt passed away, that to me was just like, I haven't had a lens for this enough. And Matt, to me, I just remember like young kids, like 3 young kids, and I just remember like at the time the anger and towards him and just the why. But quickly that got moved into, I had this thought or this knowing that came over me like, how can I love him if I'm judging him? And that was the wording. Like, how can I remember his friendship and who he was to me if I'm judging? I don't know what he went through. Like, I have no idea what was the day that he was born to the day that he left this, what he gone through. So who the fuck am I to judge it? Like, I really got like that. And it was this piece of just like, that's his decision. So there was like this piece that came over me with it. And then there was this, at his funeral, there was like 500 of, I was still, a soldier in my head, and we're just there, and it's like all army boys, like 90% was military, and everyone rocks up, and what do we do? Hang on, mate. Got the sunnies on. Hang on, mate. Good.
Yeah.
How's wife and kid? Good. Like just surface level shit, and everyone's like, what do we want to do? Cry, ask questions, talk about it. We go back to his wake, same sort of thing. I just remember we didn't even speak about Matt. We just basically put the armor on to get through it.
Yeah.
And that actually really fucked me up leaving for the months that followed, because I really was questioning, like, there's something wrong with me and there's something wrong with us. Like, this is wrong. But I don't have the answers to it.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the skills to have these conversations and the teaching it. So that just poured me into talk to me, bro. And then back to your question as to how do I let things go? I think now through life experience, sometimes I guess I feel when to push and I feel when to pull back, and then sometimes I'm not correct either. And sometimes, like you said, you mentioned before that if this had happened, what I asked for in prayer, then I wouldn't be where I was now. Sometimes I just really come down to like,
you just trust in that.
I just trust in right now. I feel like I need to push. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I don't always have the answers why. It might not make sense. I'm pushing right now. Other times I'm like, nah, I'll pull back and I'll just watch this situation play out. I'm just going to release it. And I do that a lot now in my leadership style. over time. I used to be like a lot more of a leader of like, I'll show you it was how Matt actually led. I'll show you how to lead, and I'll just do it through action. I still do that with action, but now I sit back and I observe a lot more, and watch our team, and I'll let things play out. I'm like, oh, this could go this way, this could go this way. Let's just not actually make any noise in somewhere and just let something happen. And then normally the ship will rock or something will move where then, okay, now I can discipline, or now we can chat about the discipline, or talk about the situation, or make a call based on, someone shot themselves in the foot, or, I'll watch things a little bit more play out, and I'll probably do that. Then the reflection on my own life a bit, I'm just like, well, right now I feel like this is the right thing to do. Like, we just bought a house the other day, didn't even check this place out. Jen just goes to me in the car. I believe that women are very intuitive, and I feel like my wife's like really intuitive. Like, like she just always says, if she's onto something, she just goes in the car on Friday. We were going down to a wedding like 8 days ago. She's like, I've got a really good feeling about this place. They had an open house on the weekend, 200 people that came through, and then we didn't even see it. We just put in an offer. One of my mates went through, which we trust. So we did a bit of research on it, but we put in the offer at the last offer of the day, and then got it on the Monday. Like,
congratulations.
We just want to get rid of it. So then the intuitive bit of it, I just like those sort of moments, like, it's just like, fuck, we shouldn't have even had it out. We weren't even really looking. Like, we only just started looking, and something just popped up. Like, moments happen, and I'm just like, feels right. Like, to me, I'm like, feels right. Let's just go.
Yeah.
So I think trusting, people say trust your gut and trust your, I think there is sometimes a knowing, which then creates this, for me, just this spiritual aspect of I guess I've really opened up my spiritual aspect of my life. I went and sat in Nepal and did like a 10 days for Vipassana meditation in 2024, like a silent meditation where you meditate for about 16, 17 hours a day. And I've dove into a lot more, I guess, with Talk to Me, Rowan, whole platform, but I personally, for me, I'm just like, I can't lead people if I haven't gone down that space myself. So in our Talk to Me, our crew and our custodians and our team have to go through a retreat. We call it retreat. We've got to get a better name for it. But they think they're going down there to learn breath work and mental health training and how they're going to facilitate and that sort of stuff. But we're just like, the first 3 days, you're just diving into your own journey because to us, and the thought behind it is, you can only hold someone as deep as you've gone yourself. So we need to make sure you've gone. There's no point just being the saviour to everyone. You actually have to go. You got to save yourself first. Like, our motto is service to self, service to others. It's like, you got to go here first before you can go out. And so I've always gone in, like, I tried to go in, and when life's got tough on me is when I've really gone. When you feel like you just hit, do you know what I mean? Like, you're just banging your head against the wall with things, or things aren't growing, things aren't expanding, like your external world's not expanding. I've really then looked, I do it quickly now. When the external's starting to hit friction points, I go, it's because you're not dealing with it internally. So you need to go internal and level yourself up further than to deal with the size of everything that you got going on.
A lot of the things you're saying, I've gone through myself, like in myself too, and like I've went on this massive self-development pursuit, I guess you'd say. Yeah. I notice you keep saying this similar stuff, and you're saying like mentorship and self-exploration. Where does that all stem from? Like, why have you always been drawn to that?
Don't know. I think I'm curious, and probably going to that intuitive. It'll just draw me. Like, life's like draw me at different times to that space. Like, I've got mates that I've supported over the years, and it's like me telling them to go to a psychologist is like they're trying to bleed a rock, and they've gone through all this trauma and stuff in their life, and they come to me for support. And it's just over time, I've just got to this point of like, I can't. If you're not going to go help yourself, I'm not going to help. I can't help you. Like, it's like, but then for me, it's just like, I'm now like, I think I've done it and the evidence has appeared. And then, do you know what I mean? As I've gone on, the evidence has appeared. And then it's like, oh, okay, when I've gone and done that healing thing or that practice or that, it doesn't have to be healing. It could be like I've done business coaching for since 2018 with Karen. What are we now? 2026, still in his thing. They're still running it. Like, we're going up to Noosa next week. So the last 8 years I've done business coaching, personal coaching. I've had one-to-one coaching. I've done healing work. I've done, do you know what I mean? Like, I've gone and sat in Nepal and done a 10-day meditation. I've dove into breath work. I've just dove into, if it feels right for me, I've dove in. I'm going up and doing like a MDMA under clinical stuff, like that sort of stuff shortly in a couple of weeks. So so different. I'm always looking at like what could really work. So
what are you searching for?
Sometimes I'm not like it's in the moment. So it's like at the moment, I feel like there's a friction point in my life right now. There's a friction point. Everything's expanding. Talk to me. We've got about 150 volunteers now. Last year we ran 700 events in the year. Like that's a lot of events. Like almost 2 events a day. And to be honest, it's getting hard to internally hold it with a building company that too, as well as our family's growing. We've got a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and then we've got twins coming. So we're going to have 4 under 4. Wanting to be present for them, wanting to be present as a husband to my wife, just wanting to, you know what I mean, level myself up further. Like, and really at the moment, it's the search is, at the moment, I'm looking for a little bit more to level myself up. But this has been, these things over time have just been, I feel called to it, or go and do it. So it's not like, I need all these things now. Like there's definitely long periods of over the last, let's say the last 10 years or 2017, 2016, I went to that. It was 2016, I went to that psychologist. So 10 years I sort of opened up myself to a more self-development healing world. I've definitely done something for a bit and then just lived external, like, just let the external happen. But then what I've learned is, for me personally, once like I said before, once I start hitting my head against the wall, I'm like, okay, I need something else. That's probably a belief that's now been ingrained a little bit in me just by.
And then do you search for things that can help manage that? Or like with the DMT, do you go, what ways could I possibly grow or push through this next boundary, start searching? Or do you just see kind of like that comes in your life, go, I wonder if that can help with this?
Things pop up, like I'm aware of like ayahuasca and plant medicine like that, but I don't feel called to go and do that at the moment.
I got called to it and just fucking shat it. Didn't go. I said I'll go if I'm called. I'm not going to go searching for it. And I've been to South America twice on the second trip. Like this guy come up to me and goes, "What are you doing this week?" I'm like, "Nothing. Like I'm backpacking for the next 8 months, bro. Like every day is just there's nothing planned." He goes, "I've got a weird feeling I need to ask you to come spend the weekend with me and my friends. We're going into this cabin. I'm in Colombia. We're going into this cabin. We're doing ayahuasca, and I think you should come with us." And I just went, "Fuck, I've been called to it." And I just went, "I can't. I don't feel ready."
Well, I think that's your call.
Yeah.
I actually think that's your call.
Yeah.
Just because it knocks on the door like that, might not have been that. It might have been something. Do you know what I mean?
I've always just thought about that moment. I'm like, I have no regrets.
Do you regret it?
No, I have no regrets in life. But I think about that moment. I'm like, I don't know. Was that
the calling?
Yeah, I don't know.
Has it come again since?
I'll never know. No.
Well, maybe it wasn't. I do reckon that the lesson keeps turning up in different ways. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you haven't learned it yet, and I think if it didn't come, that's my thought. If it didn't come to you, if it hasn't popped up again, you could go do an ayahuasca ceremony down. So you could find one here in Australia and go and do it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or you could I had a mate that just jumped on he rings me and just goes like a few months ago, "Oh, I'm going to Peru." Just booked it, like just randomly out of the thing. I just booked a 15-day ayahuasca ceremony. 15 days. They do a ceremony every second day. And so he's like, I think there's like 6 ceremonies in it. He said it was fantastic. But you know what I mean? You could go jump on a plane tomorrow and go and do that if you wanted to. So it's like, if you don't feel called you probably made the right call. Yeah. There and where you're ready. But that's where I don't feel like I'm searching for excellence within myself. But that's probably changed a bit now, where it's like more, it's probably excellence but a different version of, I'm looking at life on priorities now of, in my 20s, I actually got asked to do a talk, it was a while ago now, but the advice I'd give was to like high school kids coming out of year 12. It's like, what advice would you give and I thought about that, what advice would I give? And my advice was, over the next 10 years, say yes if it feels right. Like, take your opportunities. 80% of life is just showing up. Now, in my, I'm 33, but in that like late 20s, 30s, now the key for me is saying no and being clear on what, like, I got opportunities coming all the time. It's like, what's actually, like, what's important right now. and getting more tunnel vision of what's important. So for me, a big one for me at the moment, what I'm searching for at the moment is my nervous system isn't keeping up with the pressure of life. So I'm getting home I'm rattled in the afternoons. And then you walk in the door and you got 2 young kids. Yeah, I just want to be present with them. I can feel myself still thinking about different things. So do I need to get the 1%ers a bit better where I'm doing breath work throughout the day, trying to regulate my nervous system a bit more to get home? Or do I have to, that's what I'm searching for at the moment. I don't fully know how to handle what the external world that I've created or the world that I've created right now. My nervous system isn't handling the pressure of it all. So I'm searching for ways to just be probably a bit more self-love. I'm probably a bit critical of myself in my own subconscious thought process. And so I'm searching of how I can probably fill up my cup more so then I can pour it to the ones that need it the most.
I'm in a very similar place.
Yeah.
I've, for the last few weeks, maybe in the last few months, I've been in this. I haven't realised, and I've pinned it down to I haven't been well at staying in the present moment. Even when I get home at the end of the day, I'm thinking about what I've got on tomorrow, looking at my day, meetings, this, that, and it's just it just doesn't stop. And I'm doing 12, 14-hour days every day, and it's just I'm struggling to come back and just go no, just be here now. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday doesn't exist. Just be here now and just be present.
What do you think stops you from feeling to move to the presence when you're aware of it?
I don't know. I feel like a conversation I had about. I just brought it up earlier. I was having a conversation with Justin, who was on the podcast earlier, and I was chatting to him about. We had a 2-hour phone call, but it was something that you just said earlier. Me and him had a very similar. On that call, we spoke about this for an hour, and he just kept saying, "Come back to breath. All you've got with you until the day you die is your breath." And the moments you breathe in, you're alive. You breathe out, you're dead. Until you breathe in again, and he's just follow that breath and just sit there. He said a bunch of other stuff, and he talks kind of in riddles and stories, so you follow along, and then
the good yogis do.
Yeah, it lands he's spent a lot of time in Nepal and incredible. But I don't know. He said something to me that just clicked, and I don't even know what it was, but it just made sense to me. It just hit somewhere inside me, and I just think with today's world, everyone's just so quick on social media looking for them small dopamine hits. Everyone's so busy. There's so much chaos in the world. It's so important to just stop and have them moments of silence and just sit in them empty moments between everything else.
Yeah.
How do you go with that?
Look, I would have said 2 years ago I can't meditate. I have done I've done a bit of it, but then I was when I'm that sort of person, throwing myself in the deep end. So I just went straight to this Vipassana. Kerwin used to talk about it. He's like, you want to try something hard? You go do Vipassana. I was like, fuck, I'm going to do Vipassana. So I went to Nepal. I rocked up there and I didn't even really know until I rocked up, how long the days were. I was there's 4 hours. The first morning's 4 hours of meditation. Then you have food break. And then there's 3 hours food break, 2 hours. 2 hours in the evening, then you sit in this thing, you're just sitting in silence, in the one spot. And the Vipassana part is you don't move for an hour, and you just feel the sensations through your body and not to move. I was and so when I did it over there, the first 6 days, honestly, I thought I'd done healing work on myself. In the first 5-6 days, the head noise was
wild.
Oh, I'm thinking, my wife was pregnant with our second child, and I'm just oh, something's happened to him. And then I'm you're a fucking idiot. You're on the other side of the world, and you something's happened. You can't even go, yeah, have your phone on you. You can't even and I'm just and went through. It was dark, and it got to a point you could go talk to the yogis or the gurus, and there's 2 breaks, and I just went at 4th day or something. I just looked at this dude, and I was this is what I'm thinking. I feel it's I'm thinking intuitively something's happened, and then I'm she has the number, but I'm just and he just looks at me and goes, good. He goes, it's working. Keep going. I'm I said to him, you got to give me more than that. And he's just I'm just going to go sit and meditate for the next 8 hours. And he goes, you see deepest fears coming to the surface. And I was So it was
Yeah.
interesting. But what I learned,
Did you have a big breakthrough?
the back end of it,
Yeah.
it wasn't like I didn't have like this big like, but they're like day 7, 8, 9. I got to the point like day 10. I was like, I can understand how people can get addicted to this. Very like time had sort of stopped and things I needed to do had sort of stopped, and it was just kind of like this flowy. And I'm like, I can understand how people.
Do you still meditate?
No, not really.
No.
I'll do breathwork practices. So yeah, I'll do meditation and stuff like that. I do rapé a fair bit, which is like a it's like I would say like an a plant medicine type thing.
Yeah.
But it's just basically it's a deep. They use it in the lead up to ayahuasca and stuff like that. I probably do it like once a week or something like that. But it's like a powder.
What do you have in like a tea or?
No, you sort of like snort it. Yeah, but it's
What's it like?
It burns like anything, but it's not a psychedelic or anything. It's basically how I would talk about it. It's like a tobacco that isn't doesn't have the nicotine hit in it. So they make it up under their own. I don't know how they fully make it.
And you're still present and aware?
Fully present. Like you could have something happen straight away, and it's like you could react to it. You'd be maybe a little bit wobbly, like a bit like it's just like I see it as like a deep meditation that blocks off the head
and
noise.
Do you
quick.
do it and sit? Like, do you have like a kind of your own ceremony?
Yeah. So I sit down. I'll sit down. Yeah, I'll do so I will sort of meditate. I do meditate. Sometimes I'll do breath work beforehand. I'll say prayers. Just check in with myself, or so I do. That is a form of meditation. And then sometimes I'll do that, and then just sit in it. But then I don't really sit in terms of just like, I'm going to go out to meditate for 20 minutes. I should.
Yeah.
I actually think one of the things I'm not doing right at the moment is I'm missing the 1%ers.
Yeah. Stacking the ones.
And I think that's something I probably missed. I'm not moving my body enough. I'm not stacking the ones. I just wake up because I got a pretty good, I guess volume. Like I can hold a lot. I can just do a lot. I just get up in the morning and just we're off and run. It feels like there's so many things to do on the list, but I'm not stacking the ones which are probably bringing the self-love. That's probably a big one at the moment. Not stacking the ones where I used to be a bit more clear on all. I use breath work a lot. Like that is one of my good go-to things because you sort of catch, I don't know how much you know about it, but with that like Wim Hof type breathing or the faster pace, if you're already beelining your nervous system, so it's like, your parasympathetic or your green zone, once you start going up within the day, and that can be, you grab your phone in the morning, it's like, problem. You know what I mean? You start going to like the sympathetic nervous system, which is a bit more, but then you get into the fight or flight response is starting to go up, and then you get in the freeze, fawn, and the slow down. There's the red, we call them green, orange, red. But sometimes sitting there and just like breathing into it, you're meeting your body, your nervous system where it's at, and then the breath holds what drops you back down into more of a parasympathetic state, or just brings you back down from being. So I do use that throughout the day a fair bit. I probably breathe most days. I just get them off as 4 and get in the sauna sometimes.
How long will you do like a breath session?
Sometimes only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer. Sometimes I'm tired and I'll sort of drift off a little bit with it. But
yeah.
There's some good ones like a Breath by Sandy on YouTube. You just get on there. I just put a YouTube thing on and just breathe to it rather than trying to work my own way through the breath. Or other times if I don't have long, I'll just pull over. Like sometimes going home to the kids, I'll just pull over up the road and do 5 minutes of breath work. Because I know when I'm walking in the door, it's game on again. Like, and I'm already feeling, heightened. So that's things that I'll do. But one of my probably poor, the humanness of me, when you're feeling shit, you don't do the things you know you need to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'm not doing that. And I'm like, That's probably my biggest actually down. When I'm feeling good, I do all the 1%ers. But when I'm not feeling good, it takes me to a point where then I'm like really starting to...
You're stacking the negative ones.
Yeah.
And I think it's some little things where like I get up and run in the mornings and I go do like CrossFit and sauna at night every day. And it's like if I'm going to run at 7 and I wake up at 7, I'm tired. Even if I just push it back in my calendar half an hour, it's like I said I was going to get up and I didn't. And I start stacking them and I'm compounding like little losses, not little wins.
Yeah.
And
then do you just stack it on yourself? Like do you beat yourself up?
I play on that like... I don't know. I think like discipline's like doing it even if you don't want to do it. And I'll try to be really disciplined and like strict to like what I'm doing. I work for myself and I've got myself in a position with my company and everything where I can just take time off if I want.
Yeah.
If I want to go overseas, if I want to travel, if I want to, I own my time.
Yeah.
and yeah, like if I want to move a run, I feel bad. And it's like, you've got the freedom to do that. Like, you don't have to go into work at this time if you don't want. If you want to run then. But I don't know. I think it's more just trying to stay true to like that, like my word.
Yeah, I said I'd do it, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
I've gone through a big dance of this, hey? Because like even with like the self-love and sort of what we talk to me right now, but even for myself, like I had a big burnout in 2021, I think it was, and that crippled me. And I then just tried to push through for the next 9 months, and I just really created damage around everywhere that I went. Was like, in terms of like, I turned up at like 20-30% of my capacity day in, day out. So like the damage I feel like I caused was, I wasn't as present as I should have been in my relationships. People around me weren't getting the best version of Luke. They're just getting this shadow, and I should have just taken time off. And I've gotten heaps better now at doing the self-love stuff. Like I will actually do the 1%. So there's like this dance on it where I actually will do the sauna. I will take the ice bath. I will do the sleep in. But then I do what you do too, where it's like, I was all charged up yesterday, and I put my thing out, and then when my alarm goes off, I'm like, I'm buggered.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, where's the, I don't know the answers to that. Where's the middle ground of, I should have done what I said what I'd do, but then also, geez, I did need that sleep. Like, yeah.
It's a fine line. I know, like, I got a wild day today, and I'll be still going like 9 o'clock tonight. So I'll get up some morning at 6 to go for the run, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do it. I'll run right before the gym. Like I'll run and then do CrossFit.
Yeah. Which
I don't normally like doing. I'm like, I'll move my schedule around. I went, nah, fuck it. I'll just stick to it. You said you're going to do it. Just get it done. It'll make going into CrossFit a bit easier. Then I'm running. I'm like, fuck, I'm so grateful I've done that. I feel so much better. I'm so much more awake. And like my day's set up now just for wins because I like stuck to it. It's like I have so many of them moments where I'm like, you said you're going to do it, you done it. You know how you feel. So then the moments where you don't, it's almost like guilt. You're going, you're missing out on that too.
Yeah. You know how it feels. So it's like, yeah.
But it's a fine line because then there's days where you like, you have the sleeping, like, fuck, I really needed that.
It's honouring yourself, hey? It's probably the thing that actually when you follow this thought, the biggest problem is the beat up that comes from it. If you just honoured it and was like, I needed that today. Yeah. Thank you for my body. Like you had that rest, you needed that. That's okay. Yeah. And the mental thought or the subconscious message after that was a lot more positive. Probably be fine with it, but I think we're similar in that boat where it's just like, you said you were going to do it. And then oh, now look, you're on the back foot. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like.
A big thing that I've been going through as well is where does that come from? Because I've never had like my mum and dad, partner, friends, no one ever say I'm lazy. No one ever be like, oh, you're sitting around. Like, I don't know where I've created this pressure from to do that. I don't know if you're the same, but I'm just like, I'm just putting it on myself. And I think maybe it's because like I know the goals and expectations, and it's this weird dance where I'm going, I feel like all my visions are, God said, this is a life you can have. And I've always felt within myself, I'm like, I'm not here just to, I don't know, like I feel special. Yeah. And I'm sure everyone has their own version of that. I'm like, I feel special. I'm here for big things. I'm going to change the world with my making movies. Like I'm on this mission and I've built this massive expectation to myself, and I think it's just like riding off that. And I hear a lot of things that you're saying around like your 3 big whys when you wanted to go in the army and you're still doing it now. Like they're big. Like they're big. Like it's not like I know you would have it on a personal level. I want to ask you about like with how does kids come into this play, but I guess like where did that come from for you? Like you've just created this out of like what you feel you can achieve?
To be honest, probably the similar sort of feeling. It's just like I do feel that, and I hope everyone sort of has that in their own way, like that you feel special and you feel like you have a gift to give to the world. Like that's where it's come from for me. So when you say that, like really resonates with me. Like it's just like, oh, I feel like I can just, I'm on and I'm like one of a good mentor said to me recently, she's like, when I didn't feel like the God thing, I didn't feel like stuff recently was working for me. I felt like I just didn't have it around me, the things that just magically normally happen. And I was like really starting to question everything. And she even said something similar to what you just said. I think what's happening to you right now is just because it's not happening immediately, or you have the feeling behind it. You're really beating up the situation, or you're really like dissecting it, going like, what's going on? Like, am I broken? Am I, that wording actually came up to me a bit, like I feel like I'm broken. Like, and she's like, it's not, it's just you're not having patience. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it was really good insight into it. But where it comes from for me was just like that. Yeah, I've always felt like I can do something. I can give to the world. I can help the world. That's like been my why. And I think we've created that. Talk to me right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely heaps more we can do. The vision's big. Do you know what I mean? We want to take this thing Australia wide. We want to go. Like, I really want to see at the end of, next 50 years, let's say, a work plus, wherever it goes, I really want to see like the suicide numbers drop, because I see if the numbers drop, it means that we've got people out there healing themselves and they're doing work on themselves. So the byproduct of those numbers dropping is less domestic violences, less, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crime, less pain, less suffering on a major scale. So I see it big time. It charges me up, but then sometimes I have to still come back to probably that, when I even articulate now, it's that service to self, service to others. Like, I actually need to come back to fill up me first, which I don't do enough of.
Yeah.
Because when I'm not feeling full, then how can I turn up, overflow my cup to others? And then that's how now with kids, I think a bit where your question was going, it has changed my
your why?
Yeah. Like, I'm really questioning, I guess for the first few years, like Leif's 3 now, but I'm actually having like, he's 3.5, and I've actually, like, we just went away on the weekend with our family, extended family and stuff, and I'm actually like really looking at it like this kid's not going to be like this for forever. The way it just comes up and grabs me and Dad, I just want to be in the car, I just want to be with you. So like, I'm just in that space even now of going like, how do I maybe change how I'm doing things for the next few years? I have a work from home a lot more, have an office from home, just go out when I need to go out. Like, what does it mean for family time versus like I can go back and I still need to do a bit more, like, look after myself a little bit more. I'm not doing that enough, but it's not that sacrificing. It's just that dance, of like what's actually really important and how I'm going to get clear on my time of where I'm going to put it into the different areas. But one thing that I need to do more, like even having this conversation is fantastic, is like I need to go and get clear on what the success looks like for being present with my family, because I could be with them for 4 days and then I leave. Like, we were with them for 4 days over the weekend, and then Leif had to go to work. He's like, Dad, I don't want you to go to, like, can't you stay here? Oh, like, and I had like the guilt comes up, and I was like, I've just spent 4 days with them, like full present with them, just hanging out around them. So like, really, from like, if you looked at it from a goal parameter, like I've hit the KPIs for that period of time. So I got to get clear on what's success looks like, because then I just get caught in my head of like, oh, fuck, I'm not there again, like that sort of thing. So it's like a dance but that's definitely becoming a lot more priority to me. And then also looking at like the next 7 to 8 years, I just, if their business can run well, talk to me, I can get going. Probably, like, I'm not doing many events anymore in terms of the facilitating and speaking. Like, I'm really trying to pull myself back from and empower other people to get into that space and go out there. And I'm looking at more from a CEO lens now of how do I check in with the different departments and check in with people and make sure that, like, I've got a finger on the pulse around the whole organisation, but a lot of people would know that I do have the finger. Do you know what I mean? I know what's going on, but I'm not injecting myself into that space. I just sit back. A lot of people, there's people I haven't met, like probably half of the organisation now, I probably haven't met them. Might have had conversations, through message and that, but barely. But it's like, because I'm like, well, what's my priorities? More myself, my family.
So I really respect that you've got that awareness, but I feel like a lot of people don't give themselves the space or time to sit and kind of reflect on their own life and situation to gain that awareness, because you can't change nothing without that.
Yeah, that's the key at the start. And it's like, and you really, for me and someone like probably similar with us, I got to probably make some big decisions soon on, not big, but just like, this is where I'm going to put myself more on say no more. I'm not going to inject into that. I can't do it. But I've felt, I guess, a bit of the pain point that's come up recently with it is and this is just stuff when you say search, I've got to work through at the moment. And this is where I'm looking for, I'm always searching. When I feel the pain point, I'm like, okay, what's coming up there internally? And that's when I go searching for things. probably one of the pain points coming up at the moment is I feel like I'm missing out on things that I've loved. Like we're doing trips up to the Goldie, we're doing trips like all over the state. I envision me going to set those hubs up there, going and do those things. And now it's like this balance of like, well, I don't have capacity to go and do that. We're going to have to send some of the team. So it's a bit of a bittersweet. I'm like, we're doing what we envisioned. We're doing what this is what it is, but I'm not there, boots on the ground doing it. And there's a bit of like pulling, but then I'm like, oh, but I'm here with my family. So the dance is that, but then that can turn at times it has turned into a bit of resentment to them too. Yep. So it's just been this, like, it's just, really it's just awareness, and I've got to, come to peace, I guess, or just come to acceptance of, but I've chosen to be here. I could get on a flight and not be present with my kids, but I've chosen to be here too. So awareness and then acceptance is probably the key things. But that doesn't just always happen. Like,
it's a journey. Yeah,
it doesn't happen immediately. Like, you just feel like, like sometimes it's like, no, fuck this. Like, I want to be here doing that. We even just went recently on a holiday to New Zealand overseas, and the first 3 days, I was like, we got a motorhome and we went around with these kids. I was like, this is fucked. Like, I've travelled a fair bit when we were younger, and it was just like, you get on the ground and just explore. You go do it. Like, I've always been like, that's my life, like curious, restless soul, explore, get out there. And we couldn't move that fast. And then we got the kids, and then we had to keep driving because they're asleep. And I'm just like, I want to go check out that. And like the first few days, like, there was resentment like in me. Like, I was hating it. And then I had to sit there and sort of as I was driving, what are you feeling right now? Like, I'm processing my emotions as they're coming up. And I was like, you're probably resentment towards what was going on. But then the flip on gratitude of going overseas in a motorhome with my family. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a dance, isn't it? How you look at it at different times. Yeah.
Look, it's been incredible chatting with you, mate. I really love your perspectives, outlook, and everything you shared. Just when we wrap up, do you want to just mention as much as you want about Talk to Me Bro? Yeah. Any events, website, social medias?
Yeah, so go to our website, Talk to Me Bro with the number 2, .org.au. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We're running, really the heartbeat behind the organisation is we want to deliver as many free events, because we believe that mental health and mental wellbeing should be accessible, and a lot of the feedback is it's not accessible to go and pay. So we're putting something on which is community, connection, togetherness, bit of breathwork, bit of ice bars, different things that we do. And then come if you're in the New South Wales region, there's probably an event somewhere near you. And then we're also looking to expand into New Zealand, up and down the East Coast, and then hopefully be next few years Australia-wide. And that's the mission. And if you're a business or something like that, we do come out and do 60 to 90-minute sessions for the business around, again, mental health, how to support self, how to support someone else in the space, team building, team training, that sort of thing too. So that's what funds a lot of our free events, is that we have amazing organisations that sponsor us and reach out and help and get us in there to also help their organisation, but that funding also goes to helping others. So if you want to get us in contact, get us to come in, we've got an amazing team that would love to come and facilitate and support. And my stomach's grumbling, must be hungry. But that's Talk to Me as a whole out. And the mission is to reduce suicide to 0 in Australia, and we want to do that through our events and our speaking about it and talking out loud and different modalities and different things that are out there to support, healing as a sense, and personal growth and personal development is what we stand for. So, thank you so much for having me on the show. Yeah,
really appreciate it.
It's been awesome, brother. Thank you. Yeah.